Hello everyone, Nahfconnects for Africa and the World Director and CEO and the President of the Nigerian Union, Japan here once again. We are committed in building an institution that be timeless in its relevance for the future generations of Africans and the future generations of the world as well. And that is the full meaning of Nahfconnects for Africa and the world. Like a few of my discussions with our noble friends and fans in these recent years, I'm sure a lot of people are learning gradually from us, and we would also like to have some questions from our viewers on areas they do not understand well and areas they want to, understand, so that we can be carrying everyone along in these discussions. Of course, as time goes on, we will be bringing in a lot of experts in different particular topics to come and discuss with us, to make sure nobody says, I do not understand how it works here. It is because of lack of understanding or lack of knowledge that you made this mistake or that mistake. Japan is a good country, it's a beautiful country to live in if you duly understand exactly how it works. In my topic today, I want to discuss with you about Japanese work ethics. How does the Japanese work and what makes them great? Why will Japan be the third largest economy? Of course, being overtaken recently by China. But Japan still remains Japan. I believe that. Why? Why can you ask yourself such questions? So a lot of answers, and it's not something we can discuss in one day. A lot of things has proven that Japan method of work is one among the best in the whole world. It is understandable by those who live and work in Japan for some time or for many years. As I have lived and worked in Japan for 27 years, and I run a corporate organization for 21 years actually, after education and working in other companies too. I've acquired a lot of experiences that means you should listen and know the area. Just few tips anyway, except if the questions comes from you next time, then we can discuss timely and in-depth analysis. It pains me mostly, or should I be a little vulgar, that to let you know that if you are an exchange student or a graduate student in Japan, or particularly your intention of coming to Japan is to study in Japan, and after graduation you just have graduated and you go back to Africa. No, you've not come to Japan. I repeat, if you come to Japan to study and after your studies you did not have any job or work experience in Japan, it means you did not come to Japan. By my own analysis and understanding. So it's not scientifically proven somewhere, but I believe that anybody from Africa or any student or any scholar from Africa who happens to find him or herself here in Japan, after your studies, please try to work in a Japanese recognized companies, even if it is not a Japanese owned conglomerates or consortiums. You should try to work in a foreign company that is authorized in Japan to operate in Japan, because they have the same standard. Why am I saying this is that there is, let me come in with the one Japanese word again that I want you to remember today or research, because once you study in Japan, I guess you have at least the basics of Japanese language. And this Japanese language is Dandori Hachiwari, Shigoto Niwari. Let me repeat this. Dandori Hachiwari, Shigoto Niwari. Dandori Hachiwari, Shigoto Niwari literally means preparatory to work takes 80% and the job itself is 20%. Meaning that doing the job, it takes only 20%. So that's why you see Japanese people will come up today, you watch a building, they start the construction today, and before, in the next 3 months, they've coupled the house. And I mean, you'll be surprised. Oh, I passed here yesterday. Look at this, oh, this magnificent building. They have finished it. They have started the preparation for the past probably 2 years or 3 years. And that's why you see coupling is going so faster. Now, in Africa, I am sorry to say, the verse is the case. It is quite different in Africa. In Africa, Dandori Niju, please don't laugh at me, sorry. Dandori, Gyaku desu yo. Dandori Niwari, Shigoto Hachiwari.
Niwari.
Ah, Niwari. Niwariね。
もう一回そこだけ言います。
2割だけ。
8割。20% で2割なんですよ。
ああ、そうか。あ、割りで。あ、だから、in Africa, why am I trying to let you know that you should work in Japan when you graduate here is for you to understand what I explained to be Dandori Hachiwari Shigoto Niwari. Then the opposite is the case in Africa, because we have in Africa Dandori Niwari Shigoto Hachiwari. So to correct these errors, you need to learn from these people who now understand that preparatory to work takes 80%, and I mean the other ones remains 20%, just coupling, whatever. So that's why you see every work, everything goes in sequence. Automatically, people are now, you know, constructing houses, even finish the houses in the factories and couple them somewhere. Within the next 3 months, you're living in a house. So until you work, study here and work in the Japanese factories or in the Japanese engineering conglomerates, you work in all the bigger firms, you are according to your area of specialization, you will never understand how Japanese is making up these, you know, facilities or building these things with time. When they tell you they will finish a contract in the next, from now to the next 6 months, note that Japanese will finish that from now to the 5 months and a half, or even 5 months, because everything has been packed, everything has been done as a preparatory measure. So that's what actually I want you, as African scholars who have managed to see the light, because some of these men whom you refer to as Akajakus never had the opportunities you were given. So if they can succeed, if they could succeed, ask yourself why. So we rely on your intellect, we rely on your exposure, we rely on whatever you can do to make Africa great. That is why I'm appealing that you should work in a Japanese company, know the principles. Japanese work is a kind of worship. It's an established system of principles governing morality and acceptable conduct regarding work. Japanese has it, and this is the key to their success. So we would like, after studies, you work in a Japanese company, grab these special qualities that made it that wherever you see Toyota, wherever you see Nissan, wherever you see Japanese products, they have high standards, because it's a standard being set automatically, quality regulations and everything. So you need to learn these things before, even for 6 months or 1 year after graduation, before you now can go back to our country and then liaise or align with the Japanese companies that will be coming in Africa, because you will have upper hand that you have studied in Japan, work in Japan. Implementing what you learned will be a very, very, very important sector, and will give you upper hand in dealing with any situation that comes when you go back to your country, or probably when you continue to work here. Please, our scholars coming from Africa and those who are working here should implement whatever they learned about this, my little tips of Dandori Hachiwari, Shigoto Niwari, preparatory to work automatically, you know what I mean? And then executing the job takes just nothing. So that is why I appeal to you to please try the way you can to work after studies. Of course, I know you find it very difficult sometimes to pick jobs after graduation, because I've made great research on them where you can do your IT and stuff like that. Let me inform you that Nahfconnects for Africa and the world is planning to build a software that can link African graduating students to Japanese companies that require their labor force, so that it can make the whole thing easy for you to now use through our free mobile application. Connect yourself before you graduate. You connect yourself to companies automatically that requires your services, so that you will never have any other complaint again to say that you didn't get a job. That's why you go back to your country because of not working here. So we are working on that. Of course, we definitely will execute that very soon. And once we execute them, we will now publish them again and come up to tell you that we have built the function in our mobile application. That's the essence why we produce Nahfconnects for Africa and the world. Don't forget again to get the details. Probably you may not be free to listen to me live when we come, but please subscribe to our YouTube channel or get our free mobile application, because we'll be publishing this radio talk show in those platforms. Nahfconnects for Africa free mobile application, or our YouTube Nahfconnect YouTube channel. Please subscribe so that you can be receiving live of all of our activities. I'm sure we'll be adding a lot of things that will make sure you get accurate information, unbaked information, uncooked information. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.